Welcome to Look Movie Recaps. Today I'm explaining a 2022 action and vengeance movie called My Name is Vendetta. Keep spoilers alert. We start with a teenager called Sophia playing ice cricket. She scores the winning goal and as her teammates are celebrating with her. Her dad Santos and mom Ingrid are also amongst the spectators and are so proud of her. After the game, Sophia meets her boyfriend Hakeem. And later she continues to her parents. They drive home. Santos had promised to teach Sophia how to drive, and when they reached home, he went with her to teach her. While camping with her daughter, she mentions that she has plans with Hakeem next Sunday. Her dad approves. And she is so happy. While they are going back home, she asks if she can take a picture of her dad, which he refuses. Sophia sneaks and takes his photo without his knowledge. She uploads it on her Instagram with caption "Badass Dad." Immediately she uploads it. It's filtered through a facial recognition technology and confirmed by some individuals that mention all the biometric data's match. And they conclude by saying that they found him. Later, Santos is at work and is unable to pick Sophia from school, so she is picked by her uncle. While they are at home, two unknown men are seen entering the house. Ingrid sees them fast and they push her and hit her with a baseball bat until she dies. They find her brother and they also hit him until they kill him. They are recording everything. When Sophia hears the screams of her mom, she comes out and finds her mom is killed. She immediately runs, but the two guys have seen her. They pursue her, but she is familiar with the area. She is shot at, but she is able to get away from them by fleeing into the forest. In the evening after work, when Santos is going home, he tries phoning his wife but he gets no reply. He starts his car and heads back home. When he arrives, his wife is already dead and covered in her own blood. Santos is frightened. He begins to call Sophia her daughter. She comes out from her hiding place after hearing the voice of her dad. She is also terrified, but her dad tells her that they need to get out of there as soon as possible. They immediately hit the road, but Sophia can't believe what she just saw. She complains to her dad that they can't leave her mom like that, and she suddenly pulls the handbrake to instantly stop the car. She asked her dad what is going on because he looks like he had a clue on what just happened. Santos yells at her and tells her that he can't tell her right now, and they continued their journey. On the other hand, an unknown individual receives a phone call and he is asked if he has good news or bad news. He replies that unfortunately the girl got away. Rather than that, the news is good. And he is told to meet up with the caller. Santos and Sophia reach an abandoned mansion that looks to be Santos's safe house to stay for the night. Sophia seems displeased and tells her dad she doesn't want to be in that place. She asks her dad why he hasn't called the police yet. He replies that they will take me. Sophia asks him why would they take you, yet you did nothing wrong. But Santos is not able to reveal to her why, and Sophia is unhappy. Meanwhile, the unknown individual meets up with a man known as Don Angelo. He is shown a video of them murdering Ingrid and his brother, who they mistakenly thought was Santos, but Don Angelo tells them that they killed a wrong person. And they have to fix it. Santos on the other hand finds some cash in their passports. Sophia approaches him and tells him she can't take it anymore. She wants to know the truth that resulted into her mom's death. He accepts to tell her everything. Santos narrates to Sophia that before he met her mother, he was a different person. He belonged to a Sicilian mafia, and blood ties is the strongest thing if you come from a family that is part of it. He tells her that there is no escape. They put a gun in your hand and they tell you to shoot at other rival family. Either you die or the person dies. He reveals to her that his name is not Santos as she knows, rather his true name is Dominic Frances. Sophia asks him whether it's why he always avoided her from taking his pictures. Santos tells her, that doesn't matter now. She blames her dad for her mother's death and making her live a life of lies. Later, Santos gives Sophia a burner phone and tells her not to call anyone but rather wait for his call. He tells her to wait for him, he will come back soon, and he leaves. She stays in the safe house alone, but she is so terrified and she is forced to call her boyfriend Hakeem. He tells her that police is looking for her. He asks her if she is with her father, but she says no, and she doesn't care about him because he is no longer her father. She tells him to come pick her now. Unfortunately, her phone is tracked and her location is revealed to the mafias. They start driving towards the same location. Santos on the other hand is able to get useful information on who wants him dead from a guy working for Don Angelo named Vituzzo, and later he kills him. Hakim arrives at the safe house and immediately picks up Sofia and they hit the road. But on their way, the mafias that were heading to the safe house identify them and they start coming after them. Santos also arrives at the safe house but can't find Sofia. He realizes that her boyfriend might have picked her after seeing marks of bike tires. He immediately drives to go look for them. Meanwhile, Sofia and Hakim are being shot at by the mafia. They are forced to go off-road. They fall down. The mafia moves out of the vehicle. He shoots Hakim in the head. He comes to capture Sofia. She tries to fight but the guy is stronger. He ties her hands and lips and she puts her in the car trunk. Immediately he enters his vehicle. Santos comes from nowhere and hits him on the steering, pulls him out of the car and continues hitting him. Sofia on the other hand is trying to escape from the trunk of the car, which she does successfully. The guy is able to get hands on his gun, tries to shoot at Santos but Sofia was able to get out of the car trunk. She hits him from behind and Santos gets a chance to grab him and later he shoots him dead in the eyes of Sofia. She is so frightened, she looks at her dead boyfriend and realizes she has no other option than follow her dad. In other scene we see Don Angelo seated with his son Michel who runs his businesses. He tries to advise his father on not focusing on revenge but rather focus on their boosting businesses in northern Italy. Here we learn from Don Angelo that his fast and beloved son was murdered by Santos and hence fueling all the feuds he has for him. He will do anything to have Santos killed and all his bloodline. Back to Santos, who is severely injured from the fight he just ended, but can't stop to get treatment. Sofia forces him to stop. He goes to treat his wound and Sofia goes to pick some essentials for the remaining journey. He is able to cover it with some bandages but he still needs actual treatment. Sofia offers to drive for the rest of the journey. Don Angelo tells Michel his son that he killed Vituzzo their accomplice so he knows they're the ones coming after him, and warns his son that if he survives, he is coming for them. Santos tells Sofia to stop over somewhere. Santos switches cars. Here we learn that they are heading to Milan. Don Angelo meets with Ferrario, a former government official who helped him track down Santos using facial recognition in the fast place. He wants Ferrario to do it again but this time using cameras all over Milan, where he is heading. Santos is able to find a place where they will spend the night but when he tries to rest, he passes out due to his untreated wound. Sofia is confused and doesn't know what to do next. She checks Santos's bag and gets some money and she goes out to look for possible help. Luckily she finds a pharmacy but it's closed. She knocks hard until someone comes out. She is hesitant to help in the beginning but when Sofia shows her money she accepts. He is given the treatment he needs. When he comes back to consciousness, he apologizes to her daughter for having introduced her to that kind of life. On the other hand, Ferrario is able to locate their presumable location through street camera and men are sent to hunt them down. Sofia is sent to hijack a car as his dad had directed her. The mafias have already located them and are now in the exact area. She is able to start the car and then comes to pick her dad. One of Angelo's men finds Santos. He shoots at him but misses. They then engage in a combat fight where Santos shoots the guy and pushes him off the ladders. Sofia is put at gunpoint outside but Santos shoots the guys from a distance in the head to save Sofia. They rush to flee the place. Santos tells her daughter that now that they have found them, they won't stop until they are all dead, so they need to hunt down Don Angelo. He gives Sofia basic training of how to use a knife for survival. Later promises her that when it's all over, they will travel to South Africa and stay there. Sofia manages to get blueprints of Don Angelo's building and she goes for spy work on the same building the next day. She takes pictures and sends to her dad but she is interrupted and asked what she is doing by the building security. She pretends to be a tourist who doesn't know English and looking for directions. She is let go. Santos puts one guy on gunpoint and forces him to drive inside Don Angelo's building. When they reach in the parking area, he hits him and he passes out. He continues to entering the building. He finds another guy, he beats him up until he gives him the codes of the elevator. Sofia on the other hand puts an explosive in the garbage bin outside the building. When it explodes, it diverts the attentions of all dwellers of the building and Santos is able to reach Michel undetected. He holds him captive and he uses him as his means of escape from the building security. When he reaches the parking lot where Sofia is waiting for him as his runaway driver, One security tries to shoot at Santos, but Sofia drives and knocks him. They go into a gunfight with the other remaining security guards, but Sofia is able to come back and pick him up. She proves to be an experienced driver when she reverses the car and suddenly turns to flee the area while they are after her. One vehicle is still on their tail, but Santos shoots the driver and they proceed. When they reach their safe house, Santos takes pictures of Michelle and sends to Don Angelo. He follows it with a message saying that he has an hour to turn himself in and confess to all the crimes he has committed the last 30 years. He further tells him to give the names of all his affiliates, political protectors with evidence, and most importantly the numbers of his current accounts in Europe, London and South America, or he will be forced to kill another of his sons. He tells him he wants to hear the news on TV tomorrow before midnight or Michelle is dead. Don Angelo calls for Ferriero to track Santos down. He is able to find Santos's exact location using his burner phone, tracking the origin of the sent message. Don Angelo sends his man Rudy and tells him not to fail him again. Rudy then proceeds to the location with a team of armed men. When they reach the place, they start holding positions, but Santos had already taken his sniper position and he starts taking them out one by one. After he kills all of them, he has remained with Rudy. He comes from above him and he stabs him and then finishes him. Later, Santos calls his daughter and tells her that he has no choice but finish what he started. That's when she will be safe. His phone is tracked by the law enforcers and 2 teams are sent to his location and his daughter's location. He invades Don Angelo's home single-handedly. He fights tooth and nail through his men. He kills everyone that crosses him and finally reaches Don Angelo. He shoots and breaks the glass wall and enters towards him. He strangles him while telling him that he should have never touched his family. He kills him. When he comes outside, the place is surrounded by law enforcers pointing guns at him. When he attempts to move his arm, he is shot to death. Another team raids their safe house and took Sofia and Michelle. Later, homeless Sofia is taken to a convent. After some time, Michelle comes to visit her at the convent where she lives now. He promises to get her out. When he leaves, he talks to Ferriero that he wants her dead, strangled like his dad. Sofia knew she is not safe, so she escaped from the convent that very night. Later, she found Michelle in his office and stabbed him in the neck and told him that the Franchise War hasn't ended. Thank you for watching. Subscribe on this channel for more of these videos. Have a great day.